What's up, Discord? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another market analysis. Welcome back to another video, guys. All right, so we're going to be covering from the 19th through the 19th through the 24th. Okay, so before we get into this, I'm actually going to cover some of the things that I was looking at this week, and just to talk about some of the trades that I took and everything like that. I kind of was break even this week, a little bit of profit, but mostly break even. Now, as far as looking at what the news is looking like for this week, guys, looking like BOJ is going to be like the main thing that I see. And then of course we have a whole bunch of flash services going on later of the week. And then of course we have CPI for the CAD. That's going to be a major. So I think CPI, BOJ is mainly like the main things. We do have an unemployment claims on Thursday, but usually unemployment claims isn't like, something huge. The numbers does not look too like huge either, so we might not get too much volatility from that. But the main things that I would pay attention to as far as volatility is going to be the Canadian the Canadian with their CPI, right? So CAD with their CPI, that's going to be one of the main things that I would pay attention to. And then of course, you can pay attention to like the retail sales, and I think all of that coming together may create some movements. The fact that we have the retail sales, unemployment claims, and then we have the flash services on like Friday. Those are some things to pay attention to as well, but not as major, I would say, as the others. So BOJ, CPI, and then pay attention to unemployment claims if we do get something. Those will be like the main things that I would pay attention to as well for this week. Is the CPI news that's coming out for the Canadian. We have one for the New Zealand as well, and then BOJ for the JPY pairs, and then also the flash services, right? So getting into the charts, and we're going to talk about crypto as well at the end of this session. Let me go ahead and turn on some music here, and let's get something smooth. All right, hopefully that is good right there. Yeah, okay, so that should be good, right? That should be good. Yeah, okay. Get straight to it. Let's go. Pull these here, indices and stocks. All right, let's go to DXY, guys. Let's talk about DXY. And I'm gonna also talk about. Actually, no, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that I was looking at, and some of the trades that I was looking at this week. So with GU, I didn't take anything on GU this week. It's kind of a range. I don't like trading ranges, so I didn't take anything on G this week. I was mainly trading gold and US 30, which I'm gonna get into. Those were more of scalps. Those weren't like structured plays. Those were more of scalps. So I'm gonna talk about it a little bit more. But GU, we're gonna talk about the analysis with GU. I didn't take any trades on GU this week. We're kind of ranging, and I'll talk about that as we're going into it. Now, some of the trades that I did take this week was on US 30 and was on gold. So as far as US 30 here, I did take a scalp here after equities open. I did take an aggressive scalp here. So basically the main reason why I was buying here, we talked about this last week, and understanding where we are in this market, right? We are inside of our demand zone, so we can look for buys inside this area. I told you guys, once we break this low here, once we get out of this, you can go ahead and check the last analysis. Once we get out of this is where I would be looking to sell to our next area, which was going to be down here. Let me go ahead and make this screen a little bit brighter. I mean, not brighter, but larger as well, so we can kind of only focus on the charts. All right, so as I did say, we were going to be looking at US 30. We're going to be looking for buys here. I was waiting for that accumulation. So what was my main thesis? Why was I looking to buy this? What was the scalps for? Just getting into that, right? So let's go to the 1 minute real quick. So as I woke up on Monday morning, before equities open. What do we see here? We see an accumulation underneath Asian lows. Okay, so guys, when we're inside of a demand zone like this and we're inside of a area like this, as you can see here, this was the last sell here before this big push to the upside. There were absolutely some type of buyers here. So the reason why this is demand zone is because if buyers are still present within this market, within this price point, and also look at where we're at a 42,000. That's also an institutional number as well. So putting all that together, seeing that we have this area that created this impulsive move to the upside, this became our demand zone. Now, when we're in a demand zone and the market is a demand zone like this, we need proof of buyers. So this is where we use accumulation, Wyckoff. This is where Wyckoff becomes important. Wyckoff shows accumulation of buyers, right? Or a distribution, either one, right? Either one, it's whichever one you're looking for that makes sense. Right here, we're looking for buyers, so we're looking for accumulation, okay? And this is exactly what we see as the day starts out. On Monday, coming out of London session, if you do trade London session, here's your accumulation, right? We see an accumulation underneath Asian lows, right? So we have this small accumulation, but also if you're really deep into Wyckoff, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure most of the people that's in my mentorship in the group, you kind of already know, but for those that are just watching on YouTube, watch some of the Wyckoff videos that I do have publicly here. But this is also a large accumulation as well. This is known as a type 4, which is just a descending wedge, I think they call it. That's the pattern for it. But yeah, so this right here, and then we have the breakout, which is right here. That's our accumulation. You can see we have our drives that's leading us to the downside. So once the market came out of this accumulation phase, we went higher. Now, zooming in, what were the trades? So remember, we're scalping. So unless you trade indices, I would mainly focus that you know how to trade indices before you just try to scalp indices or try to jump into indices. But one of the main important tips that I would say when trading indices is wait for equities open. All right, that's mainly, I don't trade before equities open. I only trade after equities open when I'm trading indices, especially scalping indices. Wait for equities open, okay? So the main gist of this story here, since I was scalping, I was kind of going back and forth with this market a little bit, starting on Monday, until I realized how bullish we actually were and how much of the reaccumulations that I was actually seeing, right? So for example, so once we had this accumulation right here, I actually went ahead and bought the market. We had what, 9:30, this is equities open. I actually went ahead and bought the market here, right? So I bought the market around here. Let me go ahead and zoom in and show you guys. So after equities open, right? After we got this push from equities open right here, this is very important. Once you see this push from equities open, you see equities open is supporting that. This is when the stock market actually opens. That's 9:30 a.m. Eastern in my time zone. Once you see that actually happens, and I seen this push to the upside, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for the mitigation of equities open, right? So I was waiting for us to come back lower to actually mitigate this whole push right here. So as you guys can see, I'm really doing the same thing on the higher time frame, on the lower time frame. So for example, you guys remember we were talking about this earlier, this area being our demand zone. This is the last down push before we had this impulsive move to the upside. That's what made this our demand zone. So now, since we're in a demand zone, we're on the 1 minute time frame. We're replicating the same process. We're looking for, on the lower time frame, what is creating those impulsive moves, what areas are creating those impulsive moves, right? Especially after having accumulation showing that we have buyers interested in the market. Okay, so after we've seen this impulse, I'm waiting for the market to come back and mitigate equities open. So mainly tapping into this whole area, right? So I was looking for any lower time frame buys inside of this area. Market didn't make it there, right? So I bought it once I seen that we created an accumulation here. if you have your Wyckoff lenses, you would know that this is accumulation as well. On the lower time frame, you can see we have our drives. We have right here, this is a fractal accumulation. Within this candle right here, I ended up just buying within this candle, and like I said, I'm scalping, so I ended up selling somewhere around right here. So once I started seeing this distribution right here, I ended up selling the distribution like somewhere around here. I ended up selling the distro somewhere around here, and then I actually ended up breaking even on the distro, but I missed the buy. Right, I ended up breaking even on the distro, but I missed this buy right here. And it ended up turning into a re-accumulation. So seeing that, I was kind of following the market along to the next day, which was right here. And I believe this is where I actually took my first loss on US 30, which was right here. Seeing this distribution right here, this is where, this was a major distribution. So one thing you guys need to look at, I was looking at this as two ways, because the market was, honestly, we're in a demand zone, so we can buy, but once the market leaves the demand zone, we still have these price actions to look into. And I know in hindsight, it looks pretty bullish, but that's in hindsight. When you're looking at it during the time, it is a different market, right? So, especially if you're scalping in your own lower time frame, you have to be kind of looking at different sides of the market. So looking at this here, tapping into this imbalance, tapping into this NFP that already took out Asian highs, and you can also see that the market is taking out Asian highs here. So one thing you can notice is we have manipulation higher, manipulation higher, manipulation higher as the market is going down. So what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a lot of sellers, right? And I can build a case for this sell right now. We've came into imbalance right here. This is NFP. We have the impulsive move to the downside, and then we're forming a distribution within this area. So this is why I took the sell here. I actually took it right here after the confirmation of the distro, and then it ended up being a loss, right? It ended up being a losing trade right there. I forgot how much I risked, but I'm risking between 1 and 2%. So I forgot how much the risk was here. I believe it was 1.5. I can go ahead and check. Let's see. Pull up. Okay, so it was actually just 1%. All right. So after that, market went higher. Right, we can see we have what is this? This is CPI. We have CPI going higher for the next day, but it was only 1% risk right here on this one. So we have CPI going higher. I don't want to make the analysis too long or the review too long, but so we had CPI going higher, and on this day right here, I actually did take a buy here, but I ended up closing it by the end of the day. I took a buy somewhere within here, and this was kind of just like a break-even trade. I ended up closing that trade because the market didn't go nowhere for the rest of the day. So usually when I get into these scalps, I try to get out by the end of the day, depending on where we're at, right? I'm not trying to hold it for too long, at least by the end of New York Open, just, taking profits on wherever the market ended up by the end of the day. And then the same thing on Friday happened here. I did take a good entry somewhere around here after this equities open. I think it was right here, and I did catch most of this move here, and I got out around this area here after. You see, once we get out of this time zone right here, which is where I'm usually trading at, a little bit after that I kind of closed it. It was Friday, it was the end of the week, and then that kind of just broke me even from the loss that I took over here. So that was US 30. It was pretty looking at it in hindsight, and as I was journaling, this was just a straight buy and hold type of thing. So what I'm gonna do in the future now is kind of just expand my horizon as far as trying to hold this longer when we're in big areas like this, because the buy that I had around here, I could have held that way longer for the long term, right, instead of treating it as a scalp. So that's something that I'm kind of looking at as well. When I'm in bigger areas, my scalps turn into longer term plays, and maybe scalps turn into intraday, or intraday into like swing trades, right? Just taking profits from them that way, which would be a lot smarter, just looking at it in hindsight. Now, obviously, that's not always going to work out, right? This is not always going to be the case, okay? The market could have easily continued to sell, so we just don't know what the market is going to do. So all this is hindsight, right? And then as far as that, gold was something I was dabbling with a little bit, but not too much, right? Not too much. It's not too much to the point where we really have to go in detail with it. And I'm going to talk about the analysis part of things a little bit more, but once I do, and mainly what I'm waiting for is GU. I'm waiting for GU to give me a good setup, a good price action. What I do see so far is we did tap into this, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more as we get more into the analysis. But the more structured plays that I'm waiting for is going to be here on GU. As far as like US 30 and gold, I'm mainly like scalping in and out, so I don't like to send my scalps as much as far as being like quick scalps, because I don't want anyone just following and getting in and it's just a scalping trade. So I don't want people taking losses that way, since I'm like in and out and I'm watching it as I'm scalping and everything like that. It's not just like a limit order that I'll place like I would do on GU. Once I do get more like plays on GU and I have setups on GU, of course those will be sent out immediately. Those more longer term plays, those more like I'd say high probability trades that I've actually back tested and gone through. EU being the same thing. That is something as well I want you guys to look at. And like I said, we're going to get into the analysis. So let's start with DXY real quick and let's talk about what's going on here. So as far as DXY, it looks like we are still going to be continuing higher, going on the 1 hour time frame. We don't really have to talk about, the higher time frame. We already talked about it recently. What's been going on, as you guys can see, after this accumulation, we have a nice bullish market cycle towards the upside, right? How do we know we're in a bullish market cycle? Reaccumulation, right? We're seeing buyers continuing taking this market higher. So we are on a bullish market cycle. All right. So we should be looking for accumulations and reaccumulations until we have a distribution that invalidates a accumulation. So what does that mean? Until we see one of these major areas get taken out, right? Because these areas represent buyers. Once we see one of these areas gets taken out, then we'll know that sellers has entered into the market and we have potential sellers getting into it, right? Until then, we're seeing this market just go higher. So what are we going to be doing? Well, as far as DXY, what do we see here? What I'm seeing here, I'm seeing this manipulation that could potentially just be our manipulation of this leg, right? Once we break this high, this is going to be that's going to be like that mitigation. So I am looking at this and I'm seeing that we're taking out lows, right? We're mitigating lows and we're going higher. As far as like looking at on the lower time frame, we could range here for a little bit more, but I think possibly we're just going to continue higher, guys. I don't see like much weakness, especially here. We do have liquidity underneath here that I would love the market to come take. I was hoping we came here first, at least coming down here and tapping back into this area here, and then we get more buyers. But it looks like this market is bullish enough, or DXY is just strong enough for us to just continue going higher. So that's what I'm seeing right here. So potentially we could continue just going higher. I'm just following the market cycle. I don't see any like major weakness yet. That's basically what I'm seeing here on DXY. So I think we'll continue higher. As far as that, now for like EU, okay, where has we came to in EU? So following the market cycle, so as you guys know, DXY and EU are inverse, right? They're inversely correlated. If DXY is going up, EU is going down. Okay, so with DXY being strong and going higher, we see a bearish euro dollar, right? So as we're seeing this price action go to the downside, what are we seeing? We're seeing distributions and redistributions to the downside, right? We're seeing the highs get manipulated, market goes down. High gets manipulated, market goes down. High gets manipulated, market goes down, right? That's the current trend. That's because we are in a bearish market cycle. So we should be looking for manipulations to the upside and looking for those mitigations. What does that look like? Well, one of these trades right here is exactly what that looks like. Manipulation to the upside, mitigation, push to the downside. You can see the market comes back, mitigates, push lower, right? That pullback again. Now what's going on here? Market pushing back, mitigates, most likely it's going to push lower. So what am I looking for here on Euro USD? Well, we're tapping into this manipulation right here. You can see this spike towards the upside that came and mitigated the previous area, right? We even took out this previous here where people got in the sell here. We even took out these guys right here, filling in balance, boom, going lower. Now, what did I tell you guys the other day? Well, last week, I told you guys do not sell from NFP because there was liquidity above NFP, right? It was just a lot of liquidity sitting here, and you can see here's that manipulation. Boom, to take out all of this liquidity here. Now, I'm hoping that we can get up to here. This would be the best selling area as far as looking for like a high probability trade. This area will be the highest area since it's the 50% of this whole manipulation. Okay, now doesn't mean the market's going to get there. Trust me, guys, the market is not always going to do what we want it to do, unfortunately. But if it does get there, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. So what can we do in the meantime? Well, let's look at this current play that the market is creating right now. What do we see? So we see this manipulation right here, which is most likely from CPI. Okay, boom, CPI took out these highs and we get this push lower. Cool. We have a change of character based on this price action. Okay, cool. So now that we have that change of character, what I want to see. So boom, we have manipulation that took out liquidity. I want to see us take out this next low here because this looks like the next manipulation, right? Manipulation of these highs mitigates the previous area. So I want to see the flow of money start going this way. So next, what I want to see us break below this low. I want to see a structured break. I don't want to see a wick. Okay, so we want to see a structured break. What is a structured break? Market goes below here and actually trades beneath here for at least a little bit, right? We don't want to see the market go down here and immediately come back higher. That's not what we want to see. We want to see the market actually break below, and we want to see traders actually trade beneath here for confirming that we, broke this low. Okay, so just a close above underneath this low and some price action trading. Once we see that, if we get that and the market is trading underneath its low, I will be looking for redistributions and distributions. So what do I be looking for? What does that look like? So, and it's very important that you guys understand how we need to break this low, right? Because this could be two different things. This could turn into a larger distribution, or could be the distribution that we want to see. And what do I mean by that? So, if you understand Wyckoff, this right here is potentially our buying climax. Buying climax, automatic rally, secondary test, secondary test. Okay, what does that mean? That means if the market comes underneath here and we see an accumulation, we could easily come and take out these highs to create our up thrust / UTAD, give a distribution here, and then we see it push lower, right? That could potentially happen. That's on the table. Now, also what could happen is we do not get that bigger distribution, and this is just going to be the flow of money to the downside. That is the second scenario that could happen as well. All right. So how can we determine which one that's going to be? That's where this comes in handy, where we're saying we need this break. So once we get this break to the downside and we see the market actually sit underneath here, I will be looking for accumulations underneath here. Okay. Once we break and I see an accumulation, we're going to be looking for the invalidation of that accumulation. Once we see that, these here are the plays I'm looking for. This is the play that I'm going to be looking for. I want to see an accumulation that gets invalidated. Once we see this accumulation gets invalidated with another structured break, right? We don't want to see a wick. We want to see structured and violent breaks. And then when the market comes back up to mitigate, that's going to be your sell to take the market lower. It's either going to be that, or when the market goes lower and we consolidate underneath here, when we pull back, if we pull back, we will be looking for sells within this manipulation first. not limit orders. Okay, not limit orders. I'm not taking a limit order here. Just because this is where I'd rather take it. If you're gonna take a limit order, guys, if you're gonna set a limit order, set it up here. All right, I'd rather you set a limit order up here. These right here are more decisional POIs, and us just trying to follow the market cycle on the 5-minute time frame, based on the fact that we tapped into the manipulation. Right, we're just trying to follow this potential bearish price action. So I'd be looking for the mitigation of this manipulation here as the second opportunity to take sales, and looking for a distribution on lower time frame. Okay, so basically we're just gonna wait for the market to slow down, start creating a range. Once we see that range come in, we need a manipulation of the highs. Once we see that manipulation, we see a violent move to the downside, we see a break, that's gonna be your trade, that mitigation, take the market lower, right? Something like that. But all of that is depending on how we break this low. Okay, so make sure you are paying attention to that. I will update the group about that as the days go on, and we do have some live calls coming in this week as well. Okay, so we will update that Euro USD, but those are the plays that I'm looking for on Euro USD. Now, as far as GU's not the cleanest. The GU didn't actually go as high as I wanted to. Was kind of ranging this week on GU. So I do see that we did tap into, like, we feel this imbalance. This is not somewhere that I would have expected us to actually sell from. I think it's just selling just based off the fact that DXY is going higher, not just based off the fact we mitigated something here, because I would still love to see these highs be taken out and for us to get into the imbalance up here. But if we don't, that's okay. What would I like to see? First, on GU, we need to break this low. We need to break this low. So GU is not the same as EU currently, because EU, we know that EU has came into a point of interest, right? So we can trade something like this. We can trade this price action, right? As far as market cycle, since we are in a larger POI. But with GU, we're not in a POI, right? This is not our POI. Our POI is up here. Okay, so I'm gonna need more confirmation that GU is gonna go lower. So what I would need is, I would need us to break this low. Once we do break this low, we can break this low two or three ways. Either the market could go lower, build some type of accumulation, and then break it. If we see a break like that, I would take this as the first sell to the downside. Right now, if the market just, makes its way lower and breaks it, where's our manipulation? There's our manipulation. So that would be the next area I'd be looking to sell. And then, of course, following any bearish market cycle to the downside, right, as we sell down into this institutional price point down here. Okay, so yeah, GU is a little bit different. I'm kind of just waiting for GU to move itself more. And yeah, but EU is the main thing that I would tell you guys to pay attention to, this price action here. And then GU, I'm mainly waiting for the confirmation of sellers just breaking this low, since this manipulation right here did not react in a point of interest. This is not a point of interest. I don't care if it's in an NFP. We do have liquidity above it, and I do want to see those highs taken out and then balance filled, right? If we don't do that, that's okay, but I'm gonna need confirmation that we break this low first. Once we break this low, we would look for more aggressive sells to the downside. Until then, I don't want to play around in this range. Okay, so that is GU. Gold, let's go into gold. So as you guys can see, I already have my point of interest on gold marked out. I was looking at gold this week, and one thing I want you guys to notice is, like I said last week, look at gold and how we're just maintaining this bullish pressure, right? On the lower time frame, look at the market cycle just creating lows and highs, the order flow, lows and highs, lows and highs, lows and highs. I believe that potentially we can get back into the 2,750 this week. Now, where would I be looking for that trade? This is where I'd be looking for that trade here. You can see here, this is Wednesday. This is CPI. This was the CPI movement to the downside. This is where I would like for us to come into. I want to see us mitigate here. We do have imbalance. If you're looking for like a more specific entry area. I would say wait until we get to this imbalance. Wait till we feel this imbalance down here. And that should be your play, right? So anywhere inside of here, this is where I'm looking to buy gold, right? I'm looking for that pullback, and then I'll be looking for buys anywhere here, and then specifically looking to fill this imbalance here and just seeing if the market will give us any type of manipulation that we could take a play off of and take this higher. First target, of course, is going to be this high, and then second target is going to be the 750. So this is where I will be scalping gold, okay? Once we do get into this point, I don't know why I don't have an alert here. And also, let me set an alert on, let me also set an alert. Okay, there we go. Entering buying area here. Market cycle. Break of low. And GU. Order flow. Low broken. All right. Yep. Okay. So yeah, this is where I'd be looking to buy gold at, guys. Moving on to USD CAD. So same thing stands with USD CAD, guys. With DXY going higher, we're going to see USD CAD, USD Chef go higher. Okay, we have USD Chef here that I'm going to cover. I had a request to cover USD Chef, so I will look at it and do a quick analysis when we get to it. But as you guys can see here, we finally exited this range, right? We exited the range. So what am I looking for? What are we looking for here on USD CAD? It's going to be your demand zone right here. You see the manipulation? This is CPI. This is where I would set a limit order. If you're going to set a limit order on USD CAD, this is the area to do so. Okay, now we've broken the high. We've broken the high. What else would I look for here? This manipulation lower here is another possible area that I would look into. Now, this is going to be an area where you're going to look for confirmation entries on a lower time frame, right? You don't want to set a limit order here. So I would wait until we actually come down, and then maybe, let's say Asian session comes out and we're creating a range here. Look for a manipulation lower, take out these lows. Once you see that break, that manipulation will be your entry and take it higher, right? That's the confirmation entry that you're looking for within this area. Now, like I said, limit order wise, if you just want to blind it and just, take a blind trade, this would be your blind trade here. If you want a safe, high probability trade, that would be it, taking an entry from this area. That's going to be the highest probability. Since this area here is still low probability, you want to look for a confirmation entry like that, okay? That's USD CAD. Like I said, as long as DXY is going higher and the dollar is strong, USD CAD is going to continue going higher, guys. Same thing for USD Chef. Let me zoom out on this a little bit more. Yeah, this is just straight bullish. Okay. As you guys can see, I haven't looked at this in a while, but let me go ahead and zoom out on this price action. Came here, mitigation. Delete all of that. Man, we have a higher time frame target. That'll be a higher time frame target, okay, while it's there. So what is going on right now? What is our current market cycle? Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see what's going on, guys. What do you guys see? For the first thing, what do you guys see? Right? What is our market cycle? Bullish. DXY is bullish. USD Chef is going to be bullish. What do you see? We see a fat accumulation right here, right? Fat accumulation of buyers. We have buyers getting into the market. They're mitigating orders. They're getting their orders filled right here. After that, what do we see? We see market cycle, right? Look at the lower time frame market cycle. Accumulation. Distro. Buyers come in. Reaccumulation. And then we also have lower time frame reaccumulations, like inside, like really in here. But these are just the major areas that I want you guys to focus on. Okay, so this is our last major reaccu. So if the market starts pulling back, guys, before I get into like the the actual order flow and start talking about what I'm looking for, I want you guys to pay attention to these areas that I'm actually highlighting and boxing out. These are going to be the major areas that you want to look for price discovery. So because I mean the market is going to pull back at some point, right? We have buyers, we have sellers in every market. So if you see this market starts pulling back, I don't want you to think, oh, the whole trend is changing. No, this could just be a pullback for a mitigation. If it breaks one of these areas, that's when you have confirmation that potentially the trend is changing, because we're invalidating buying areas. Okay, so if we see sellers are invalidating buying areas, that means sellers are most likely stronger than buyers. Okay, so what I would look for if we see a pullback is wait for the market to come into this reaccu. Okay, it is okay if the market breaks these little areas here. All that means is if you see the market break an area like this, that means, hey, you could possibly take a reversal to target this larger area, right? But that's probably from the more advanced people who understand how market cycle and Wyckoff and everything like that work. It's probably for the people that's in the Discord and the mentorship. If you don't know what you're doing as far as like taking both sides of the market and understanding like how that works, don't try it. Just wait for the more like high probability following the trend type plays, right? If you're not understanding market cycle, or like these are all like new terms and everything like to you, go study it before you try to do like counter trend plays and like all of these different plays. Okay. So as far as like looking at it right now, here's your manipulation that the market is tapped into, right? Looking at it as far as like going into like the order flow. Like I said, this is going to be the major area that you want the market to come back into if you start seeing a pullback. But if you see a change of character, for my advanced people, you can take, this will be the area here that if we invalidate this low, you could possibly start seeing a little bit more selling until we get into this area here. So, but here's our manipulation, right? As you can see, the market has already tapped into the manipulation here. Let's do an array. Boom. So we see the market has already tapped into the manipulation here. This is our order flow. Let's go into like 30 minute. This is our order flow right now. Okay. Now you guys probably talking about let's see, what about the highs, or the market hasn't broken these highs yet. Guys, we don't need the market to break this high to know it's bullish. Look at the price action, right? This is why market cycle is important. Accumulation, reaccumulation. You think the market is just gonna come up here and stop, especially as it's reacting inside these areas. These are major areas, right? The market is reacting inside these areas. You can see that the market is selling here, and we have sellers. It's just buyers are stronger, okay? Buyers are stronger than sellers, okay? So that being said, I don't care whether the market breaks this high yet or not. We could target that to break that high because we know that buyers are in control of this market right now. So it's about knowing who's in control of the market. Now, we are in a bullish order flow, so I just drew out the order flow for you guys. Let's go down to the lower time frame. This is our major demand. I mean, yeah, major demand. Honestly, we could have another pullback into the 50%. So please make sure that you're watching this. This is where I would say is going to be the highest probability buying point. Okay. that 50% of the manipulation. Now, zooming into the actual what's going on, it doesn't mean the market has to come back down here. Like I said before, the market does not have to come down here. We could just continue going higher because technically we've already tapped into the manipulation, right? Now, what do we see, right? This is where the lower time frame confirmation entries are important. What do we see? Well, we see that we're getting manipulations lower. As far as like right here, we're getting some manipulation lower, but the market is kind of going higher and we are tapping off this area. So what would I do? Would I buy it from here or would I wait from here? Okay, so if you're going to take an aggressive buy from here, you're going to do one or two things, okay? You're going to wait for an accumulation within here. So one or two things you're going to wait for. This being the last push down that mitigates this area here. As you can see, we're following the market cycle. What do we see? We have Asian lows, we have the manipulation of Asian lows here, and we have a push higher. We have this manipulation that comes down that mitigates that raid of Asian lows, and we see a push higher. So if we're going to continue to see buyers, we're going to expect buyers to take the market up from this area. So see if I can find a candle for you guys real quick. Let's do the 30-minute. So this 30-minute candle right here is where I would look for buying opportunities on the lower time frame. Okay, so when the market comes down, if it comes down, and I'm going to talk about what we can do if it doesn't come down. All right, market comes down, you're looking for buys within this area. We're looking for a lower time frame accumulation. You're going to wait for the market to come in here. You're going to wait for it to slow down. And you're going to look for this exact same play, but on the lower time frame, like on the 1 minute. You're going to look for the exact same play. You're going to look for the market to go down. You're going to look for the market to slow down, create some liquidity. You're going to look for that push lower to take out the liquidity. You're going to wait for a push back higher to break that high that took out the liquidity, right? Once you see that confirmation, then you can take a buy from this area targeting this high. And a tip for you guys, do not set your limit, do not set your stop loss underneath this low. Set your stop loss underneath this low. Okay, that is what I'm currently doing. As far as even when I'm looking for confirmation entries within my area, my stop loss is still going underneath here, because if the market invalidates this, my whole idea is not invalidated yet, because the market could still go higher. Once we invalidate here, that's when my whole buy idea is invalidated. Okay, so if you see the lower time frame entry, you see the lower time frame confirmation, you can still take your entry based off of this manipulation. Just set your stop loss down here. Okay, so that's going to be a much safer play, a much more higher probability play. Okay, and then you could target up here, or of course you could just target up here. Depending on how big that stop loss is, you can just go for a higher target. All right. Now, if the market does not pull back, we have our confirmation, our reaccumulation that we could look for. So basically, you're going to be looking for a distribution up here. You're going to look for the same thing, but opposite. You're going to look for drives to the upside, a push lower, taking out liquidity on the lower end. And you're going to look for a push higher, taking out that distro, those drives that we're talking about. 1, 2, 3. You wait for that to come in. You wait for a push lower. So that means this is a distro. Once we see that distro gets invalidated, that confirms even more that we have buyers in this market. So that means that we have distro, which means potential sellers. Potential sellers got invalidated, which means buyers are that strong, which means we can just buy the market from this area here and continue it going higher. All right. So yeah, that's USD Chef. So for the person that asks, that's USD Chef for you. And AUD CAD, was another request. Let's see, this area validated. These are markets that I haven't looked at in a little bit. So hold on, let me zoom out to see what's going on. Lower, the higher time frame. Accumulation, reaccumulation. Let's put that right there. EQ mitigation here. We invalidated this area though. We invalidate that low. Okay. We've been on a bearish market cycle here on the higher time frame. Higher time frame has been on a bearish market cycle. Even the hour, the leg structure is on a bearish market cycle. Our last leg is from this high to this low. So we are in a bearish cycle right now, but we do see order flow is showing us these buys in January, right? Since January came, we're seeing the market pull back to the upside. So here's what you could do. Honestly, I would say you play both sides of the market here, because to be honest, I think that we could come out and take out this high and we could switch over. So here's how you play something like that. Let's go to the higher time frame. I want to find what up here needs to be mitigated. What do we need to mitigate? What do we need to mitigate? Daily. Okay. Let's see. It's the 260, 250, 255, 261. Okay, we'll do 260. We'll do 260. This candle right here that we already in. That candle right there. I think on the hour we do have imbalance in between there, so we can make that a little bit more. Let's zoom into that. Let's see what's going on there. We do have a distro up there that's even better for a supply zone. So we do have a distro there. Okay. Distro, we're gonna do 50% in that area, at least up here, at least to fill that imbalance, right? Boom. So I would do 50% here of this area to look for sales. Okay. Look for sales inside this area here. To be honest, if you really want to, this is a bearish cycle. We are in bearish legs at the moment. You can take a limit order there, but if you want to be safe, I would wait for a, wait for sellers to start showing themselves, because we do see buyers, I've been taking this market higher. Do see some, accumulation, reaccumulation. We're seeing the market take out lows, especially like this being our last kind of drive to the downside here. That being our last, that took out that previous low. We see that kind of impulse going into your supply zone, right? You kind of want to see the market slow down here as we get into here, which we are slowing down, but that was just Friday, so we don't know if that's actually orders being slowed down, or just because it's the end of the week. So as Monday comes open up, I would not sell a limit order here. I would wait for the market to actually start ranging in here, and then you can find your orders the same way that I've been showing you the confirmation entries, the same way you're going to take it here. So that's how I would be looking at AUD CAD. Now I would look for sales first, but as soon as we break this area, so two of the things going to happen. Either we're going to come in here, we're going to range, we're going to create that distro that we can take sales from, and then once we get down here, you can look to target here as your first target, since that is a demand zone, right? Just going off of the accumulation, the reaccumulations, the manipulations that's been going higher, this is going to be your first stopping point, right? We could see a reaction from here and then another mitigation to continue lower. That could happen. Or the market could just come down here and just accumulate here and then continue back higher. Okay, that could happen too. But I would look for the sales here first. Now, if the market comes here and you're seeing the market is struggling to sell, that means we're probably just going to continue higher, which means you should just start looking for buying opportunities higher. Okay, it's either one of those two things is going to happen in this area, and I would look for the distro first. Look for the distro first. If the market invalidates the distro, that is an immediate buy. This is an easy buy. If you see the market come in here, we create a little range, and then we just shoot higher. This area right here, if it has some manipulation, right? So say we have something like this, and then we see a push lower, and then it just continues higher. If it has a manipulation, that is going to be your next buy immediately. right? That is a play that I take personally. I like these type of plays. It's a reaction off of a previous area supply zone that got invalidated. So it's basically like a breaker. If you know ICT, it's basically like a breaker trade. So that is going to be AED CAD. So I would look for it. And then let's go to US 30. I mean, we're just talking about US 30 as I was talking about my trades and how I was scalping it. But what do we see on US 30? Bullish. So one or two things I'm looking for as we get into next week, especially tomorrow, seeing this pullback, and that's why I kind of got out of this trade. Seeing this pullback, I really want to see us come back into this reaccumulation. This reaccumulation right here. See, we have the distro potentially going up here, the mitigation showing us lower, but it didn't go nowhere, right? The market ended up not going anywhere at all. So what I'm looking for is us to just come back into this area. I don't have a specific candle, this kind of ugly wicks, but just this area in general. So I'm gonna just put a horizontal ray at this high, and I'm gonna just set an alert like right at this imbalance right here. Since I don't have a specific point, I just want us to get into this price range in general, and I want to see how the market moves within that price range, right? So let's do this, and we're gonna do USD. Well, US 30 buying area. We're just gonna save that as that, and I'm looking to buy within this area here. So my first area that I'm looking to buy in. If we don't, and if we continue going lower, if we break this low, I will take sales targeting this next area right here, which was our last reaccumulation. So if we don't buy from here and we see the prices going lower, we're most likely coming into this as our next demand. That's our last valid reaccumulation. So we'll move this here, and then we'll keep this here. That'll be our next area. And then as you guys can see, I mean, this is our institutional price point. So we could just bounce off the institutional price point too. So I'll just be watching it. If it pulls back, I'll be watching it. But this will be like the most highest probability area. And then it's going to be the first area, which we could just bounce from and continue going. I don't see anywhere here that I would expect a huge sell-off from. As the market, if the market continue going higher, we could see small reactions as we do go higher, but of course this is our distro right here that we could see a potential reaction from as well, but that's kind of far. Okay, but if you just want my bias here, I would wait for a pullback first, at least into this area before you start buying US 30. Okay, at least into this area. That's where I'm waiting for. The only way that I'll buy it from here is Monday. You come in and we see equities open, just give us another spike to the upside, then I'll just play off of equities open in that spike, right? So, yeah, that's going to be that. And then Tesla, what we see on Tesla, we're seeing Tesla is reacting off of this, this small reaccumulation that I had here. I don't think that's why it's reacting, because we did mitigate that reaccumulation already. So I'm going to delete that. I'm not going to add that as the cause. I think the reason why we are reacting here is just because of our institutional price point. All right. Institutional price point, plus we have indices going higher. I think the stock market is just really bullish right now, and also we do have Trump coming into office, which is something I'm going to talk about as far as crypto and Trump in a second, right? So right now, I mean, what do we see on Tesla? We're seeing bullish prices. So let me go on the lower time frame. Let me see what I can find. I don't see any like huge schematics yet or any manipulations here. I'm seeing that we're just having higher highs. So what I would wait for, I would wait for a confirmation as like something like this. Wait for a distro, for a push lower, and wait for the break of the distro. Once we see a break of a distro, that would be a buying point. Right now, I don't see like any like high probability buying point that I would give you guys at the moment. So I would wait for that type of play to happen first before I take a buy on this. Okay, guys, wait for a pullback, wait for a manipulation of something before you take a buy in this. But we do see that price is maintaining that 400 price. Well, price is maintaining that 400 area. So we could just see this market continue going higher. Yeah, we could just see this market going higher. You can see here we failed to make a new lower low, and we kind of just accumulated right here. And since then, the market's been going higher. So I would wait for a pullback, like tapping back into like the 400, look for an accumulation there, and then possibly just a push like that. So, yep, that is Tesla. And that is going to be it as far as Forex and indices and stocks and everything like that. Now we're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about some things that's been going on in crypto. Look at Bitcoin, what's been going on. I think Bitcoin is actually rising back higher. Let's go to my, find my chart real quick. Here it is. So, what do we see, guys? I think I talked about this last week. I don't know if this is, but look at this. Just look at this manipulation here. It's very like surprising to see Bitcoin moving like this. It looks like a real structured market now, which I like. So that'd be your next demand zone as far as like if we start pulling back and everyone starts going crazy again and Bitcoin's going down and all that noise that happens. This is where I would tell you guys to buy from. All right. But what has been going on? So obviously we see that we manipulate all these lows here, took out all of these weak-handed buyers, and look at this push higher. I think we're going to make a new high. Honestly, probably like in the next couple of hours here. By the time you guys see this, we might be making new highs. Once we do make those new highs, I don't know if we have enough buyers here that's going to explode this market next to my next area, which is 125, guys. That's where I'm looking for this market to come into next. And we could just have a huge explosion. If we have a huge explosion, I'm going to delete this area. So one or two things. If we have like a huge explosion to this 125, I'm honestly going to be looking for us to mitigate like this as a larger area. So I could see a mitigation as in this as a larger area coming back into 1,000 before we see another push. Or if we don't have that large explosion and we see it's more of just like a new high and the market starts pulling back into here, I can see us coming back a little bit further into like the specific manipulation before we see that next push that takes us to 125. Okay, so that's gonna be Bitcoin. Still bullish, of course. So that's Bitcoin. And then what else do I want to talk about? Trump. So Trump, if you guys haven't heard, Trump launched a coin. Yeah, Trump launched a meme coin. It's been going crazy. So here's his meme coin right here that he launched. And it's been actually going crazy throughout the weekend. I wouldn't suggest you guys get in here, to be honest. We're at all-time highs. I think it hit like $73. We're at all-time highs at this point. Yeah, so with that being said, that is very bullish for crypto. So if you don't know about crypto, or for those of you who haven't been taking crypto seriously, this is going to be the next, I would say 3 to 6 months is going to be a lot of opportunities for you to make a lot of money. Okay. I know we're traders, so these are the same charts, guys. We're already traders. We know how to look at charts, right? You're just looking at a different, I would say you're looking at a different asset, right? It's the same thing, but you're just looking at a different asset. Okay, so I would honestly tell you guys, look more into crypto these next 3 to 6 months. Okay, just pay attention to what's going on, pay attention to what's releasing, just pay attention to everything like that. Because with Trump launching a coin like this, I mean, guys, if you would have got into this around, I'm gonna be honest, I got into this at let me see my price point. I did not trade this on well, I'm trading on chain. So I'm trading on Solana. I told you guys I was like, dabbling around with meme coins a little bit. And so I'm trading on Solana, and my price point here, let me see, is at, I got in at 16 billion. So at $16, that's where I got in. So I got in like somewhere around right here. yeah, I got in somewhere around here, like 16, and I'm still holding it. I'm gonna be holding it till I don't know. I just want to see how far I could go. So, but yeah, things like that. And guys, I seen this at like $4, $4. It was just when it came out, nobody believed it. I didn't believe it. I thought it was fake. And I didn't think he actually would drop a meme coin. That's kind of crazy. So I didn't get into it, but I did see it at those prices, and I was watching it, and I was doing like research on it and everything like that until I found out that it was actually real, and it was already at like 16 billion or like around $16, and that's when I was just like, okay, I'll just get in. But yeah, since then we've been growing, so I would not recommend getting in here. I mean, I do see this still continue going higher, but you're already at like very high prices. I don't know how high this could go. So I really don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. Like, I'm not 100% positive you can get in, but I'm not 100% positive. I wouldn't tell you guys to get in. But I'm telling you guys, I'm already in this, and I'm not looking to add anymore. I'm not looking to take out anything. I'm just gonna hold it and see how far it goes. And especially with, you know, his speech coming tomorrow, the 20th, his inauguration. I don't know how to say that word, but he is coming in tomorrow, and he is going to make a speech. I don't know if he's going to mention this coin, he's going to mention anything about crypto, but if he does, that's going to, you know, create more waves in the market. But this is not something I want you guys to focus on and think about, oh, you've missed an opportunity. That's not the case. The thing is, this is going to open a lot more opportunities in the future. You're going to see a lot more influencers come out and, you know, make coins, and a lot more, like, you know, higher and just more popular celebrities, and like bigger things are going to happen as far as like not just with meme coins but with crypto in general. So just keep a lookout and make sure you are paying attention to the space right now. The president of the United States just supported crypto. I think we should really pay attention to what's going on. If you're early in most of these projects, like I said, if you're early in Trump, you could have made a lot of money very fast. Life-changing money very, very, very fast that we could use to transfer to our live accounts, funded accounts, right? That you can use to transfer to your live account, funded accounts, and different accounts where we could get out of the risky part, because we know, you know, crypto is more risky than forex or stocks. So if you could find some good profits, if you could make some good profits on crypto, that's the point here. We're going to make some good profits on crypto. We're going to take those profits and we're going to translate those profits into more stable profits by trading forex and our, you know, indices and stocks and everything like that. But if you have the skills and you understand forex, stocks, and indices, crypto is not a new like language, guys. It's the same markets. It's just, you just have to learn what, like, you know, crypto is and everything like that. And meme coins too. Make sure you're paying attention to meme coins. I wouldn't say don't become a meme coin trader where you're just trading every coin, but keep your eye out on what coins are launching. So when a coin like this comes out, you can be early, because if you were early on here, you could have made easy money just by just getting in, and you would have doubled, tripled. I mean, I tripled what I put in. And it's probably going to be more than that. Some people got in a lot earlier than me, and they like 10 times their money. A lot of people became millionaires on this that I've seen and I heard, and I've seen P&Ls. Like, it's been a crazy weekend. It's been a crazy weekend with this, and this has only been like a day or two that this happened. So trust me, we might see a lot more coins like this come out with a lot more people and a lot more bigger people. So just make sure you're keeping your eyes out and that you can, you know, take advantage of the opportunities that's going on right now in the crypto space. That's pretty much all I have to talk about, guys. I know this has been a long video. This is a long video. It's an hour video. But that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Let me know if you have any questions for those on YouTube. For those in Discord, of course, you guys know where to reach me at. We'll be having live calls this week, Wednesday and Thursday. I think I have those set there. So those are official. I'm co-signing that. Yes, our live calls are back on. Fully back active and strictly trading. So yeah, I will see you guys then, and I will see you guys in the Discord. And as well as Instagram, I'm going to be sending out a lot more on Instagram, and just sending out, like, I'm gonna try to send out some of my scalps when I get into my scalps, and trying to, just share my analysis. I say I'm gonna share my analysis before I get into my scalps. I'm not gonna send my scalps specifically, but I'll send analysis, as I'm scalping and what I'm thinking and everything like that. So for those of you who want to follow along as I'm trading, that as well, and especially for those of you that's not in the Discord as well. So I will see you guys this week. Pay attention, guys. Pay attention to the markets. Make sure you're showing up every day and you're here, and the opportunities are here. You just got to be here and show up every day. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.